My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. To read my writing, go to counterpropa.com. To support this YouTube channel, go to my Patreon link below. This is amazing news for everyone who loves WikiLeaks. Sweden is dropping its rape investigation into Julian Assange. The WikiLeaks founder still faces an arrest warrant in the UK. Swedish prosecutors announced today that they were dropping their investigation of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange into allegations of rape. Director of Public Prosecutions Marianne Nye and Chief Prosecutor Ingrid Iskren held a press conference in Stockholm today to discuss the decision, saying it was made not because they believe Assange to be innocent necessarily, but because they were unable to formally serve him the allegations during an interview at the Ecuadorian embassy in London, UK in November 2016, where Assange has been in exile since 2012. During the press conference, Nye asserted that the U.S. had applied absolutely no pressure on Sweden prosecutors about the case. Asked after the conference if they had received any communication or inquiries from the U.S. government about the case, they said at the end of March they received an email from someone purporting to be from the FBI seeking information about the case. So the FBI actually tried to get involved in an investigation that was just dropped today by Sweden. They said the inquiry was vague and they simply directed the person to the prosecutor's website for public information about the case. Asked who the FBI person was, both said they had no memory of the name and had deleted the email. They asserted that because the email did not have anything to do with advancing the case, they had no reason to retain it. So what on earth is the FBI trying to do? Influencing an investigation in Sweden that eventually Sweden dropped today for Julian Assange. Obviously, they're after him because he's a publisher that publishes information nobody has the courage to publish. Sweden reporters questioned the legality of this decision, but Iskren and Nye insisted that they acted entirely within the law and regularly delete any communication that doesn't advance a case or help it. So yeah, if the FBI emails you and you delete the email, prosecutors had until May 19th to submit a statement to the Stockholm District Court about the status of the investigation. Assange was not charged with any crime. This is very important. You're going to hear Joanne Reed and people who are essentially very, very hurt that Hillary Clinton did not win. And these people, whether it's Keith Olbermann or Joanne Reed or anyone who just wants to circumvent the fact that WikiLeaks DNC and Podesta emails exposed massive corruption within the DNC, that Jared and Elizabeth Beck have publicized throughout the universe in the DNC lawsuit defending Bernie voters. But people don't want to, they don't want to address the corruption that's exposed. When WikiLeaks and Assange publishes information, the information is not only authentic and pristine, it exposes corruption, like the corruption we found out about in the DNC lawsuit that Jared and Elizabeth Beck are championing. But I'll continue. Assange was not charged with any crime, but was wanted in questioning in Sweden on allegations of rape and coercion following sexual relations he had with two women in Sweden in August 2010. One woman alleged that Assange... Okay, so basically, it's dropped. And then there's information that correlates to the accusers actually being coerced by law enforcement in Sweden. And one of the accusers didn't even want to do anything regarding the legal case. Assange has denied the accusations and has long claimed that sex with the women was consensual. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to read you right now Justice for Assange. On 30 November 2016, the United Nations rejected the United Kingdom's attempt to appeal the UN's February ruling in favor of Julian Assange. The decision therefore stands, and the UK and Sweden are once again required to immediately put an end to Mr. Assange's arbitrary detention and afford him monetary compensation. So he is owed monetary compensation by the UK and Sweden. A lot of people don't know that. So people who say, well, you know, he's charged, he's wanted. He's never been charged. Sweden just dropped the investigation today, and he's actually owed money. The UK and Sweden owe him money. Now, the UK is still, so Sweden drops Assange. This is Reuters. Sweden drops Assange investigation. UK police says he still faces arrest. What people don't understand, and I'll bring up Joanne Reed and the Obermans of the world, the Howard Deans of the world. What they don't get is that he's actually owed money from the UK and Sweden. That's what they don't. Most people don't realize that, and he's never been charged with a crime. And today, Sweden just dropped the whole investigation. So justice for Assange. Professor Mads Andenas, who chaired the UN working group which claimed that Assange's plight in the embassy amounted to arbitrary detention, welcomed Sweden's decision. He said, quote, "This is a victory for the rule of law. The warrant was contestable. There were dissents in both the UK and Swedish Supreme Courts. Also, the majority in the UK Supreme Court was concerned by several aspects of the extradition request. The Swedish Supreme Court laid down strict requirements and warned the prosecutors to speed up or drop the case. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention found violations of international law." So why the UK is still threatening Julian Assange is beyond me. Who knows why the UK? It's obviously because the United States wants Julian Assange extradited. The issue with that is he's being arbitrarily detained. He's owed compensation by the UK and Sweden. The UN has ruled in Assange's favor several times. In addition to that, he's a publisher. He hasn't broken any laws. So there are no laws that he's broken. He's published information that the world needs to know. The United States has no grounds to force the UK to abide by their own wish for extradition. He hasn't broken any laws. If he's broken laws, then the New York Times and the Washington Post have also broken the same laws because they published and they discussed all the emails for the past 10 years, and The Guardian, all the emails that were published in WikiLeaks. Give me your thoughts below. It is a great day for people who love WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. I believe that he's a hero. I believe that WikiLeaks, everyone there are heroes. The battle for Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, this is Renata Avila. The battle for Julian Assange and WikiLeaks freedom continues. Donate to help the cause, donate to help close the U.S. investigation. I will put that link below. Courage, WikiLeaks legal staff, legal expenses. Please, 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 my amazing subscribers, contribute. This is a really amazing cause, in my view, and I will put the Courage Fund link for WikiLeaks below. Free Assange protest today, 1400 Downing Street. Okay. Breaking: Assange has dropped its case. Sweden has dropped its case against Julian Assange and will revoke its arrest warrant. All right, so great day for Julian Assange. Sweden just dropped its investigation. Now we have to have the UK to give, the UK and Sweden to give the money that they owe Julian Assange, and for the UK to do the same thing as Sweden and to abide by the United Nations and free Julian Assange. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so much for listening.